I think I might be live. I don't know if anyone can hear me, and I might even go back and come back in because I forgot I have a busted camera. Because I may or may not drop my phones pretty consistently. Let's see. Who's here? It's your mom. I'm outside. Can you tell? I think I see one person. One person. Can you hear me? Can I even see the chat on my phone? This is the greatest live stream that ever was. Hey, good morning. You can hear me? Awesome, because I have headphones on. Now I'm out of breath because I was walking up a hill. And this isn't as pretty as I thought it would be here. Sorry for my busted camera, but I also have a busted face, so it's kind of right in line with each other. Hello, Grace Case. Hi, Lizzie. I'm going to be out of breath for a moment. I don't have a particular topic in mind necessarily. I'm just old and out of breath and had some time before I picked the kids up from school. And mainly I have been watching the Mormon Stories podcast. I don't know if any of you are familiar with what is going on with the that lady Ruby Franke and Jody Hildebrandt. But I just was doing some shopping and was listening to Jody Hildebrandt's niece. It's the second time she's been on. I'm so out of shape. I'm like still, and it was a hill. It wasn't that big of a hill. Watching the niece's second interview. Oh, and it looks like I'm at 20% too, so I won't be on here too horribly long. And had some thoughts and really appreciated her interviews because even though I didn't grow up in You Do Love Mormon Stories podcast, hey, just saying, I do too. I can't say I watch them all, although I do appreciate that he lets people talk. I feel like sometimes it's not structured thought. And as someone who tends to ramble, I definitely need someone to get me back on track in order to not just constantly have squirrel moments that are just so sporadic nobody can keep up, including myself. So I watched a lot more when Jesse's interview was on, and that man Adam Steed, he has a lot of interesting things to say, as well as is the person who helped take down the Boy Scouts of America and their ties. Sorry, there's a plane going overhead if you can hear that, and their ties with the Mormon Church as well. I didn't grow up fundamentalist. I didn't grow up IBLP or whatever the heck it's called, or Mormon or Catholic. However, I did grow up Southern Baptist, and some random time someone's walking up. Now is the time where I don't know what to do with my hands, but hello. No, hello. Real awkward. Uh-oh, old lady, don't fall down the hill. All right, we're good. I resonate with some of the things Jesse said in regard to the line of thinking that I think is kind of universal through all forms of Christianity. What is the word I'm looking for? I'm thinking of genres, but that's not right. All starts with a D. Whether you're Catholic, Baptist, Mormon, I don't know what they're all called. And that's why you're watching me again, to watch me stumble over words. Okay, now that she's down the hill, this lady just kind of like, I'm at a park, I'm at our neighborhood park, and I'm sitting up on a hill in this little amphitheater thing. She walked in front of me, so, which is fine, that's not the problem. But I was just saying, like, hello, acknowledging. It's awkward, I'm talking to a phone. She wouldn't look at me or acknowledge me, and then she almost kind of fell down the hill with her dog, but she didn't, because I would have stopped and helped. But anyhow, I've had conversations with Holy Spackle, and maybe a few others of you, where me personally, there's like this, I wasn't in it severely. I still am a Christian. But I'm confused as to, not confused, I'm learning and discovering what Christianity means to me rather than what someone has just told me. And also wondering if some of the strict patriarchal, I can't say that word, the men stuff, if that is something that I believe in, and if so, to what degree? If not, how to move forward? If yeah, like what parts of it do I want to continue to align myself with? Hey, Christoph Panel, Ways, how are you? I'm just rambling, mostly right now about uh, Christian beliefs and how I believe, and it seems like others have seem to have come to the conclusion, despite the varying degrees of severity, that I believe a lot of people have used Christianity just in itself as an excuse to abuse people, whether it's emotionally or definitely spiritually in a lot of ways. And unfortunately, sometimes physically. I did not experience physical abuse. But maybe spiritually, I don't know if abuse is the right word either. Like, my family didn't abuse me or anything like that, but I think I can relate to the people who have seen their parents trying to do the right thing and following these rules by someone who they respected as being an expert in this topic, was teaching them to do, or this is what the Bible says, or if you do A plus B equals C, if you're good, if you follow this, only good things will happen to you. Or if you're doing bad things, or if sickness and things like that are happening to you, it's because you didn't pray hard enough. It's because, you know, you must have sin in your life and different things. And of course, I believe in living a life that is morally good. I'm just relearning what I think is morally good. So it's really confusing personally, but also not. Um, yeah. And the interview that happened on Mormon Stories podcast, I believe it was uploaded late last night, early this morning. Jessie Hildebrandt is Jody Hildebrandt's niece, and Jessie spent some time, unfortunately, in Jody's home um, for guidance and therapy and whatever her parents thought that they were um, their child was going to receive help with. Whether they understood the extent of what Jessie actually went through or not, who knows? That's her story to tell. But I just finished watching her interview a little while ago, her second interview. And because I had seen her first one, which was also very, it was very good. It was very informative, in some ways relatable, as far as her, you know, again, trying to, oh, I must be bad because I rebelled against my parents, meaning I said, I don't know if I believe that, or I questioned something. Well, if God loves everyone, then why this? You know, those sort of things, which um, can be and have been met with a response that can be detrimental emotionally and spiritually to the person who is trying to follow the rules, trying to be good, trying to be approved by God. I think it is unfortunate that people who are even emotionally abusive can use, I mean, they're preying on people who they can tell want to do the right thing. So they're going to manipulate the truth, manipulate their own agenda of what seems to be, to me, and it sounds like even through her interview and other people's interviews, podcasts, all different things in the world, whether it's Shiny Happy People documentary or whatever, really just seems to be a form of control. Like a lot of these people just want control, just want to control people, and they use Christianity to control people. And I can relate to some of that, but not to the extreme and not to the degree that they have. I definitely went to, again, a church growing up that if you were dancing with somebody else, that you're going to wind up pregnant. There was all this talk about sex and talk about our bodies, how it's wrong to use our bodies to do this and that. And I find it very funny that the thing that they were trying to prevent, they were trying to protect people. And I do think some people were trying to protect the youth, if you will, like the cautions of having sex and different things like that. But I don't think there should have been like a moral aspect to that. And, but I got introduced to things I wouldn't have had it not been mentioned in the church. You know what I'm saying? So they were trying to prevent all this stuff. Pardon me for spitting everywhere and my crappy camera, but it's just this little cracked. I drop it a couple times a day. But that's the thing that they led me to and led others to, was oh, I never heard of that. What's that thing? You know, go ask my friends. Or um, and then if there were things that I were curious about, I'm definitely not going to go ask somebody in the church about it, or like a mentor, this person or that person, because all I've heard is it's bad, bad, bad. No, 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 no. And again, I'm just kind of processing some things, because I feel like what I was taught in life is very benign compared to what a lot of people have had to experience. But I can see the similarity in, again, using Christianity as a means to form people, manipulate people, abuse people, and control people. I feel like that commonality is definitely there. And then again, with the Shiny Happy People documentary, I definitely was like, wait a second. Again, we didn't grow up like the Duggars. Nobody was having multiple kids, and we were allowed to wear pants and listen to secular music and all that kind of stuff. Not everything, though. There were, um, I don't know why I'm saying that. Like, I'm trying to ask forgiveness for what we were allowed to watch. But I do remember a time where, at least from my understanding by what my parents were telling us, that like we couldn't go to the town fair that year because the town fair decided to serve alcohol at the fair, and alcohol was bad, a sin, and you're going to hell, you know. So you can't be around that, because if you're around that, you're not going to be able to resist, and then you're going to get drunk and go to hell and lose your home. And it's like, you know, alcohol doesn't necessarily compute to alcoholism for people. Um, and also was very much taught that the story from the Bible was Jesus turned water into wine, but it wasn't fermented wine. It was more like a grape juice thing. Yeah, I certainly believe, like Christoph Van always says, all religions are like that. Um, or all religions can be like that, because I don't know about all religions. I'm just speaking from my experience, and also through the events that have happened in the past couple years, like the horrific things of Josh Duggar, the horrific things of Ruby Franke and Jodi Hildebrandt. And then because of those events, different documentaries and interviews have come out. It's kind of tapped into something in me where I'm like, oh, that sounds familiar. Oh, that feels familiar. So I'm just kind of sharing the, I don't know why I decided to live stream out in public. I feel more awkward than normal. But I'm talking about really personal things. This really wasn't thought through very well on my part. But I'm speaking from what I know, which is my experience being raised Southern Baptist, which I don't think is bad necessarily. And I don't, as I've gotten older, I just realized there are parts of it that I don't accept and I don't agree with. So I'm kind of talking through those parts. Um, so that was my need for wanting to just kind of jump on here and discuss those things. How is the internet doing? I was not picking my nose, just people scratching up there. Pardon me. Yeah, but for anybody that's not aware and is following the I hate to call it a story, but the events that are surrounding Ruby Frankie and Jody Hildebrand, Jody's niece, Jessie, who goes by they, them pronouns, has 2 interviews on the Mormon Stories podcast, Lord Jesus. And their first interview was done not long after Jody was arrested, getting a text message, reading it. And then their second interview there's another one that was just put out last night or today that has been their feelings since Jody has been sentenced, if you will. That sounds like an owl, and it's the middle of the damn day. Is that a dog or an owl? Hey, Stacy Bobbles, Moon and Stars. Mormonism has a special way of ruining lives and families. Yeah. In the South, at least my area of the South, Laura, Alabama, practically, I think maybe I'd heard the word Mormon. I'm just going to assume that I did. But I really only heard about it more when I moved up to South Carolina. And I don't even know if we have any, I don't know what they're called. That is an owl. I hope it's okay because it's daytime. But maybe it's telling me to shut up. Cathedrals, what are they called? I don't know that we have any around here, but yes, you're welcome, and I'm so sorry that I couldn't give more for that $5,000 donation. I'm only on a break right now. I'm going to get back to work so that I can continue because I just I'm sorry. Temples? Yeah, are they called temples? Okay, thank you. Don't mean to be disrespectful, but I've only met one person who's Mormon, and they worked at the mall where I worked, and I knew he was going to go on like a mission or something like that soon, and I didn't know what that was, and he kind of looked at me like, you don't know what that is? I must not speak to the unclean, you know? And that oh, I can tap on the comments here and they come up. Cool. I didn't know that. I'm on my phone. Nice. I feel like I did that and yet still didn't realize I did that. So I didn't know a whole lot about Mormonism until the scandal, the horrific abuse that is surrounding Ruby Frankie and Jody Hildebrand. I heard a little bit more of it from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Like I knew it was strict, but I thought it was like another version of like what I went through. But maybe just a little bit more strict in how people dress. From what I remember, when I grew up, like it was okay if outside of church, all of us female chicks wore like pants and shorts and stuff like that. But I knew it was like frowned upon if we wore shorts to church or pants to church. And then like maybe Wednesday nights, like for youth group and stuff, it was okay for us to wear shorts, but like they couldn't be too short. And like jeans, I think there was a time where it was more approved for us to wear jeans than others. But you could pretty much wear what you want outside of church. It wasn't like people were creeping around the corner watching you afterward. And then when I moved to Greenville, South Carolina, then I learned about Bob Jones University, which is a whole other level of something or other kind of Christianity itself. Let me see. Kim's husband joked one time to new neighbors about how at least they weren't Mormon, only the new neighbors were Mormon. That's kind of funny, and it feels definitely like something that I would stick my foot in saying. I grew up in a town, and a majority of all were apostles. I'm just going to say they were apostles. They cover their own, that's for sure. And see, I feel like that has a different meaning. I don't know. We went to a non-denominational church. Oh my God, why can I not talk? I know these words. Non-denominational church here that were more Pentecostal in nature, at least during like praise and worship and things like that. But our pastor referred to himself as apostle. Slowly gonna be like, oh my God, let's sign a cult. But I took it as like a newer way to say preacher or pastor. I don't know. To me, they're all kind of the same. So I've only recently heard the word apostle be used as like in a more culty fashion than I'm familiar with. Yeah, the underwear called garments. What's pink and blue sidewalks mean? I don't know. What? All right, I'm going to switch for just a minute. How much? Oh, I've got like 7% battery, so this is like, maybe I won't switch then. It is going to be quite soon. I have to pick up my child anyway. One of my children. I have 2 children. My other is not being neglected. Our friend, his aide, my nanny, is picking him up. Because I have 2 kids at 2 different elementary schools that get out at the exact same time for school. So that makes it a little bit tricky. So, yeah, that's about it. Go watch go watch Jesse Hildebrandt's interview on Mormon Stories podcast. They are quite a bit lengthy, but she seems to have a really good head on her shoulders and also explain things really well, and has kind of touched me in a way that has helped me. Just been a little like blurb here and there where I'm like, yeah, like the whole everything happens for a reason kind of mindset with Christianity. Like, and again, I'm saying these things still not trying to bash Christianity, but also being a Christian myself, but not liking or accepting some of the things that I have been taught, are taught, whatever you want to call it. Like, you know, God putting us through things to help us learn or help us grow or whatever. Like, he uses all bad for good. They didn't, sorry, it's hard for me, say it in these exact words, but yeah, sometimes no, things just suck, and the reason that they happened is because this evil person chose to do them, and that's all that there is to it. She said it in a much more eloquent way, but it kind of resonated with me a little bit. Now we got a woodpecker. So Soothing Sounds by JC's Neighborhood Park, like a owl in the daytime. 3 of them. Sorry. I'm both being blinded by the sun, and yet I'm blinding myself from reading comments. My Pentecostal neighbor stayed at my house watching Nickelodeon growing up. Neighbor. I don't know why I'm thinking my mind went to a different place. I guess because of the recent Nickelodeon documentary that I swore was supposed to be on Hulu, but I can't find it because I want to watch that as well. All right, guys, my phone is at like 3%, so I have to go. Thanks for chatting along. Hope you guys have a good day. I'll leave you with that.